having either all or nothing. I think it's hard on the kids, but
I mean, teachers are struggling, and like some kids are, are failing. And it's like, is that like, how do we fail them? Like, what is I don't know. It's so crazy.
Yeah.
And then, like, and my daughter's in the 4th grade. So that's been a struggle, like, because they still plan to test them. So like those teachers have to teach the standards, and like they missed kind of a big chunk of 3rd grade. So
yeah,
it's been a struggle. It's a lot harder than it's crazy times.
It is.
Oh, look at, you're so pretty. I'm so excited. I have so much fun when I get to play with other GGs. This is great.
All right. Well, we will go ahead and get started. I am self-admittedly newer on the presenting, so I'm pushing myself to do the Google. We do Zoom all day. I know that's probably an ugly word, but we Zoom, and so I try to switch over to the other side and as much as I can to push myself. But let's make sure that we put in the chat, introduce ourselves and where do we work, what our role is, our Twitter handle, all that kind of stuff. All right. So if we've got all that, all right, the format is going to be, we'll have about 30 minutes, and we have Miss Bonnie, and she's going to do some PD for about 30 minutes. And then the last 30 minutes, we'll have, less formal training, just conversation. It can be about Google or not, whatever. I'm sure we have lots to share. And anyway, this is our monthly meeting for November, and we usually have the last Tuesday of the month. So we really appreciate Bonnie stepping in from Louisiana, staying up late at 10 o'clock at night to present to us about virtual field trips. So I will turn it over to you.
Oh my gosh, no, I'm excited. I put all my stuff in the chat. I'm going to share my screen. This is like one of my kind of, I don't know, like whenever they ask, like, oh, do you have, could you talk maybe? And I have like a bunch of presentations saved up, and I was like, which one? But this is kind of my favorite one. I've given this one probably the most. So I'm going to talk about some like virtual experiences. If anybody comes up with a catchy name, like I said, this is something I've talked about a lot, and I always say virtual field trips, but I'm probably going to talk about a little more of this than that. And then like, too, some of this is kind of controversial because Google has made some decisions recently and moved some things around that have made people really justifiably angry, including myself. So these might nod in your head, like you're in on those emails in that trainer group. I'll probably mention some things that are NDA, but I don't think they're going to fire me. So I'm going to dog my pay, so.
I hear you. And that's what I was going to say too, is that like I'm really excited that this is about, virtual field trips, because it's something that's talked about a lot, at least, and for me with like my colleagues, but nobody's really doing anything. I don't think we know what to do. So
I do this
totally open for all of these new ideas. I'm really excited for, and I'm taking notes because I'm going to pass this stuff on to my colleagues.
Oh, so. Take this presentation, and like totally, to make it's not, I won't get mad at all if you make your own copy and put your name on it. I'm not that person, at all. This slide is here because I am a Google innovator, and I gave this pitch You have to like, if you want to present at the academy, you have to do like a pitch slide. And I did this like the night before, and I thought it was so clever. And now I'm like emotionally attached to it. I need to move on, but I can't. If you're like, why is that there? It's digital hoarding, is what it is. So a little bit about me. I was really excited to when they mentioned like a lot of your students don't get to travel a lot. Same. I work in the East Baton Rouge Parish school system as a tech facilitator. I taught for 13 years. Most of our students, I taught for 13 years at, I guess like, probably labeled an inner city middle school, in various positions, like in the classroom, and then kind of switch into like a tech coach role. And now I do that for the whole district. We've got about 40,000 kids. And like I said, majority of them, like same as your kids, aren't gonna travel very much, aren't gonna get outside of the state. So it's really hard. I taught social studies to get them to like visualize these places, because they don't get it. Like, I know your kids are probably the opposite. Our kids don't understand mountains at all. Mountains cannot, like this. We are the flattest place. Sorry, daughter. The flattest place in the world. So like mountains baffle our students. So I kind of got into this kind of thing, like as a social studies teacher, bringing that into the classroom. After this, if you want to connect with me, please feel free to. I run the South Louisiana GEG. And then I really want to have like monthly meetings. We haven't gotten around to that. I've kind of recruited some people to build that idea out. And then I'm the founder of the Global GEG, along with 5 other people, and we do too much. And if you ever want to present on anything, or you want to practice, or you need anything, come on over to the Global GEG, and I'm sure we got space. But reach out to me on Twitter. That's probably the fastest way to get in touch with me. So after this, if you've got anything, or you're like, hey, I know something better than you, like, by all means, send it over. So I'm going to start with something Google Trex. My district is 1-to-1 with Chromebooks. I don't know about, like, we're lucky. We get a ton of grant writers, like, really hustling the money. And so we've been 1-to-1 for 5 years, but we weren't 1-to-1 K-12 until the virus hit. So now we have like tablets for our littles and all this stuff. But one thing I'm going to talk about here, and this might affect your students, is I know my students that are in like really more rural areas struggle with bandwidth. So like some of these, like I would definitely suggest maybe having the students like explore asynchronously and then get on a meet with you. Because like I know my students, I have like some hotspots I've given them, but like their Chromebooks are just not prepared on the hotspot to be running like a meet with their camera and doing something like that. It's just something to consider, like from a technical standpoint. I don't want you to like have this great thing prepped and then it shut down on you.
Yeah, we kind of experience similar stuff up here too. Just just accessibility in general. Like there are places, down the street from me that you cannot get internet hooked up
and
to.
I have some of them. I have some of those.
Winter storms, just a snowstorm in general is enough to just. I mean, I struggle with it when we're here teaching at home. And I
live in the middle of nowhere.
Yesterday and today, so like trying to map test my students, like good Lord. Not cool. So so it's great. And then just to like maybe they can screen record, they're doing their presentation. So
totally. And so it's just something like a technical thing to think of. I talked to some pre-service teachers the other day, because I was like, you guys, like new teachers are like, they know nothing. And I was like, all right, let me tell you something about bandwidth. Like, I know they don't talk about this in college, but this is going to be really relevant to your life now. So this is one called Google Trex. I personally really like it. In this slide deck, like all the different sites are going to be linked in the top corner, and then just some examples. Some of like my favorite ones are linked on here, but feel free to like explore more. So Google Trex is super cool. You can always go back to this bit.ly. I'm so sorry, I left this out. The bit.ly for this is bit.ly/I love field trips. since Google has decided to change a lot of things, you might come back to this link and it looks a little different, but like you feel, like I said, feel free to make your own copy and do with it what you wish. This, you know, this is not, I do not trademark any of this. So Google Treks uses maps. There aren't like a million of them. And I don't necessarily love like this setup because this changes. So sometimes you have to just watch like and see which ones. But they're probably, I'd say like 24. And they'll just like flip up on this screen. On one that I know is in our curriculum. I do a lot like with the curriculum. People like making sure, because tech is great, but if it doesn't tie into your instruction, it's not really useful. So like I know that like in our 11th grade curriculum, this falls in, and you know, so this one uses maps, which I think is really cool. You can even like dive into the Street View on the Amazon rainforest. I know that our students, I have a huge problem. Like the second they get on Street View, they go to their house though. So like I'm like, I don't, you know, you literally have access to everywhere in the world and you're going to look at your driveway. So it is, you know, really neat like that they can use. I like Treks because it uses like a tool that they would use like in their real life, like with maps. So you can like zoom in and play around. They've got some like video about how they built this out. Some 360 video, which is really neat. And like I said, and then you can like dive in. I'm like logged in or something. Using Street View. Don't tell your kids how to contribute to Street View. That would be terrible. But I just really like, they've changed that link. They need to fix that. I'm about to send them an email. This needs to take them where it needs to go. But I really like this one, like I said, because it uses like a real geography. Like I was a sociology teacher. Like my master's degree is actually in history. It's nothing to do with technology. So I'm really into the idea of them like reading a map to like, you know, that they would really get to explore it. So it's just one of them. Treks has quite a, you know, like a big variety that they've got, and it's just like google.com/ I just type in, sometimes when I'm trying to find something, I will type in like Google and then the topic and see if Google has anything has stuff built out already. And it's like I don't know, like a hack in how I like find stuff sometimes. It's like I'll type in Google first, like I'll Google, and then Amazon Basic and see what Google already has made about it.
So I have a question really quick, and maybe it's something somebody else has experienced too, but when I was holding some trainings, I'm a certified trainer. So I was doing trainings late this summer for our district. And one of them that I was holding was a Google Earth, Google Maps, Tour Builder, all that.
Yeah.
And I was told by somebody in our district, I'm trying to remember the name, that we were not allowed to use those things with our students, that it wasn't an approved tool because it's maps. I still use them anyway if I need to, you know, full disclosure. You know, and I just use Earth mostly.
Yeah.
Just in 5th grade, they don't, you know, need to get on maps right now. But, you know, I still use it if I need to.
Valid point. I mean, my district, if there's a problem, they're gonna block it from the top. Like basically, like if it's not blocked, like they're like, okay, they do block too much sometimes.
Yeah, see, it's not blocked at all, but it's just like, yeah, that's why I keep using it.
People,
like, you didn't even really tell me why we can't use it.
I think it's not. You know how when you take that trainer test and they say like what are the core apps that are covered under like FERPA, COPPA, SIPA, all that stuff? I don't know if Maps is, and that's what they mean, but that doesn't mean like if that would be like a district. I know Becky Calling in our group, she's in California and she's always having a fight with her people about stuff, but they'll block it. Like if it's not district or Pew, her district is a big thing. This is one I used. I helped a 3rd grade teacher who taught, like, she was teaching like engineering. She was like a STEM class for 3rd graders. And so we did all this stuff with Dubai and like, see, there's like the 360 video where you can like look around. like Dubai, and that's like super, you know, like our kids like are so into, like, you could talk about how, you know, rich people are there and all this stuff. And then we went into like the design right here. You can see it's got all this like information built in, and then they had to build like marshmallow towers to see who was the tallest based on, you know, like based on what they read here. It was fun. It was fun. It's one of my faves. So check that out. See if something applies to you. I really like this Petra one. It's super detailed and super fun, but I have yet to find somebody that has this topic in their curriculum. So once again, this is like almost like technology for technology's sake. This one is really neat because it has sound. I have this tab muted, but if you click on this link, there is a woman. I can unmute it just for our purposes here, but there's like somebody that will walk them through it without you.
That in Nabatean times, this was a tomb for a person
So,
of great
like,
significance.
You know, the kid, you know, would have a guide, even if you're not there. So this one, you know, and these do vary a lot, but and you can like walk down the road, and the person, you know, like your tour guide will explain everything to you and stuff.
That's cool though, because it kind of gives them something to model after, so then they can be a tour guide for something that they're, so even if it doesn't necessarily relate to like the curriculum, it's a, you know, a model for them.
Yeah, if by all means you could find a use for this, tell me so I can use this. Like,
I mean,
I
that's how
love this
we
one.
use it. Yeah, definitely, just to show them like this is what a virtual tour guide does.
But yeah, so it's got like all these little built-in fun factoids and stuff. It's a neat one. All right, I have like 10 here. I gotta keep going. Anyway, check these out. The only rule I have is if you do something really cool, you have to share it with me so I can talk about it later. All right, so what we were talking about earlier with like a bit of controversy right now is the Google Arts and Culture app is about to get bigger, but it was already great. Like, I'm already a huge proponent of Google Arts and Culture. I think it is an untapped gem. Wouldn't be surprised if Google renames it. Because I feel like when you read that title, you think like of just like Mona Lisa stuff, and it's way bigger than that. There's so much cool stuff. First thing is the app and the site are a little different. Everybody should go and like download the app, and you can take a self-portrait and it'll match you with somebody else. It's so much fun. It's not always kind. I took this more than once to get that one because some of the pictures they matched in it was just mean. It was just mean-spirited. I cannot promise they don't sell your image to the Russians though, so like I, you know, can't go and all that. I would not vouch for them, but it is really fun. And so the app, like, so if you had tablets or something, this is something you use with your kids. But there is a lot of like interactive things you can do. There's whole things about Vermeer that are just specifically on the app. So before we kind of dive into the site, definitely take some time, download it, and like check it out because it's got some cool stuff, and not just art teachers. Like I said, I would expect Google to push out a name change at some point because of like it's so much bigger than that. So one of the things I think I like the most is like curated resources. Oh no. I got it. Okay. My domain, this is under my Global GEG domain. I'm going to have to tell my friend. You can see my tab life. I got problems. But so it's not like I can't dive right in. It's so funny. I need to tell him unblocked it. So if you have an admin, definitely look into that. Also, interesting. The person who runs my domain is in Colombia. I wonder if, you know, I know it works in America. So if you can start right here, like they have filters and just really fun stuff. But like right off the cover, you see like augmented reality with a sea dragon. What is this about? Not necessarily just arts and culture. There are lots of like very innovative, interactive experiences. Like if you have the app, like on a tablet, you could put this like on a table Like they've got tons of things like any Da Vinci invention or all this, where you could take a tablet or your phone and like put it on a table and walk around and look at it. AR blows my mind. But yeah, like I taught middle school. I have a lot of trust issues with letting students touch devices. I have friends who have done things like I have we have a set of like little Android devices, and they like have kids they trust with it, and they'll do some stuff with like Industrial Revolution because they have some of those machines, and they'll like do all these things with it. I have to leave the room because I'm like, these kids are gonna break my devices. I can't watch. That's just personal, but it's super cool. One of the things that I really like though is that like it curates stuff for you. So like I had it was an English teacher that was doing like this cool lessons on like food and like how you can connect like with different different cultures and like their food. You can see they have like these amazing resources like all together on all kinds of different topics. So like Diwali, and it was recently. They got these really cool images, but it also like you can see it's got like facts built in. It's not just pretty. Then videos you can watch, and it's just really fun. You can make like favorites.
घी के अंदर हम डालेंगे बेसन हमेशा स्लो आंच से स्टार्ट करना चाहिए और इसे धीरे-धीरे इत्मीनान से हमें भूनना है. Make sure कि at no point is
Indian, but sorry. And like I said, you've got some fun stuff you can do with art and all that. But I really like how they put stuff together. Like you can explore by time and color, and that's all great. But I really like the and I'm gonna copy this link from right here. Because like I specifically want to take you to some of, like I said, like the curated things, the things they put together, because there's some like on American democracy and stuff that are just really all like one stops. Like you could, one of the things people complain about using tech is like having to teach kids how to use like a new thing. Like if I tell my teachers to have to teach their kids one more new thing, they're gonna come out with pitchforks. Like some of these themes that are like built out like this, you can really like you could refer back to it. One of my favorite ones, and you can see like all this cool stuff, but they've got things that are like and you're also in here, your students can build their own and that's a really neat thing. Like they can put all these artifacts together and share that, like you were talking about being their own tour guide. You can do that through this favorite thing. And now Arts and Culture has classroom button. So I can share, like I could make resources, or again, I'm gonna have to change this up because normally I don't talk about how to make that anymore, but like the future will be in integrating this stuff in the arts and culture. Like I said, Google is about to migrate a ton of stuff here, but there's a classroom share button, which is always everybody's favorite. This one is really neat, has like all the past presidents, really fun articles. Oh my God, kids like love the Secret Service stuff, obsessed. And then it'll take you straight into like the virtual field trips of these homes. And then like even more like just fascinating stuff. So like I've got a friend who teaches 7th grade, and like in Louisiana, that's American history. Like she just keeps this tagged in their Google Classroom because she's like, and then so like when it goes back to elections, when they go to political cartoons, she's got like a one-stop shop for like all her artifacts and stuff. The National Archives has, a set like this maybe isn't as structured as some other Google things. And that is one complaint people have. Like if Google is going to start building on it, they're going to have to start building it out, because like you just click on the National Archives and see all this stuff. And you're like, how did I get here? How do I get back? definitely favorite things with this little heart button so that you can share it later. But super cool, like just to play around, totally a rabbit hole. You can get lost here for real.
I have a quick question for you. I'm sorry.
No,
please. To the end, but I will totally forget. So I don't know if you see me over here. I'm messing with it on my phone. I'm like, so I'm trying the filters and stuff.
Let me have my screen up.
So can kids use the filters, the pictures and stuff with their Chromebook, or is it only on an app?
Only in an app. Okay. And I've only done it on tablets. Now we had a lot of issues with the Google Classroom app. Like our teachers, because if the kids click on another tab, like it would X amount, we had all kinds of issues. So we actually have Google apps blocked on our Chromebooks, which sounds bizarre. But I haven't tried to like down, because I mean, you in theory could download the app on a Chromebook. I don't think it's out of the question. I just know it's easier like on a tablet or a phone.
I'll have to play around with it. These filters or something.
It's so fun though. It's like ridiculous. Like it's the weirdest. There's so much on Premiere. Somebody did their dissertation on Premiere that works for Google because it was an excessive amount. But some of these are just some of my favorite. I've got a video here that I made about using it with Google Classroom. Like I said, because you have that option to favorite things and you can create your own galleries. It's not just art. So you can make a gallery really quickly and share that out with your students from like your favorite. So if you find like 10 political cartoons in here, share, and then like you've got that, share it out with the Google Classroom button and you're done. It's really easy. You go to favorites, create gallery, and you'll take what you've hearted already.
Is it easy? I have a quick question. Is it easy from the student side to go in and share? Because we actually have a group right now, one of our houses, well, our groups of kids is doing a virtual museum.
Yes. I would totally use that for this. It's going to look exactly the same for kids. It might require a video or a screencast. But I would like I said, it's far more than arts and culture. Like, I don't know, but I taught like middle school history and like they're obsessed with the political cartoons. So like, I feel like this will be relevant, the presidency in times of turmoil. I can favorite that. Like they would have to favorite it. They would really have to get to know this. But they will have all of the same options. Like they will have these direct links. So like if they wanted to embed that into a slide deck or whatever, they would have that. They could return to it. And this one's neat. And yeah, so there are tons of options here. But I have that video, and it wouldn't take long to teach them. I think it's easy. I hate to say that though, because there's somebody like my mom was a teacher. I can see my mom sitting in the back being like, it's not easy, shut up. It's easy for you. But it looks like you have to have like specific images though. It's not, oh yeah, no, never mind. Oh, I'm gonna get to this. So yeah, totally like play with it. I think they can figure it out if they want to. What grade are you talking about using it with?
7th and 8th.
Oh yeah. They totally can. I'm like, you want to play it like some kind of crazy, so like a social media like things, put it together and share it out. But yeah, I totally think.
Yeah, she actually had him do a tweet the other day, like a fake tweet on were they American Revolution or were they, American or British.
All that stuff.
And they had to put their, picture as yeah.
So many of them turn out to be British. Like if you let them pick, just based on like what would you do, and they're like, oh, like you would have not fought against the man. But I do have it right here. Like I said, I think it's easy for them to create. Like they would just have to it's got instructions. Like they just have to go in and favorite stuff and then hit create gallery and they would select those items.
Yeah, that sounds good. Thanks.
Yeah, that's it. And then you can go back and add. And so now they would have that and be able to share that like really easy. So totally.
Well, and they seem like better like content Creative Commons than, you know, just kind of going out. You know, it's hard to keep kids within that realm of Creative Commons and quality. So
almost, and this is almost like a safe Google search. Like, you know, they are going to have art, you know, you still have the Renaissance paintings built in, but like, you know, at least it's going to be a relevant source. Like, yeah, you know, it's vetted by the National Archives or stuff like that. Like you'll be able, it's almost like a safe search. Anyway, definitely play around with it. If you noticed, I'm gonna move my order around a little. There was a button that talked about Google Experiments on the homepage. Google Experiments is the craziest rabbit hole you'll ever go down in your life. Like every time I show somebody and they're like, oh my God, I lost an hour of my life playing with that. I'm like, I know. They're really combining these two. Like I said, like all the AR stuff that's coming in here they're going to increase that. But they are expanding their connection with experiments. And these experiments it's just a really crazy place. So these are like, I'm going to show you these that are specific to arts and culture, and then I'll take you to the experiment site, because that is just like it's a free for all. Like people can submit these projects. There's so many smart people, smarter than me, people out there. This one's really neat. Like this is a puzzle party. You could play. You can have like you can put a puzzle together with people, you know, or family and friends. They have like coloring books you can share, crosswords. Like I said, puzzle party has been really popular.
Sounds like Thanksgiving to me.
I know. So you could play like across, in the Global GG, we have some people doing this right now, like practicing, you know. But yeah, visual crosswords and all this stuff. But that's not my favorite one. My favorite one, and this is one of my only complaints about it, is that you can see, like, I play with this a lot and I'm still like, where did they put that? Because I know this is in my favorites, but when I search for it, it's not coming up. It needs to be, you're going to have to like find links and send them to the kids. But this is like a really crazy thing that they came up with, where kids like can type in hieroglyphics. I want to do that. It's my daughter in the background. But let's go ahead and move over to experiments, and I can kind of show you all of the things that are there. I have some of my favorite ones linked on here already, so that if you just get too lost, it's okay. Just a few for you to look at. But this does update a lot. I mean, this is kind of, I think, I wish it was more organized, but it's where people can like give their ideas to Google. And it's really quite fascinating, the stuff they come up with. This is the one I was talking about. I just don't know. But you can like share this out with kids. They're killing me today. I'm gonna have to go somewhere else and look for it. But bring your own teachable machine. I don't know this one. This is some kind of audio input. I haven't looked at all of them. They update a lot. This is like a sheet where you can import your voicemails. You can see this is not necessarily tech, 100% tech based. Here it is. it's anything. So you might find something that will like I said, like the puzzle party or something like that. But there are also some really cool classroom things. And I hope I'm not like rambling too much. I hope this is helping people. But this one is, it kind of explains hieroglyphics as like emojis, which is not completely wrong, but I don't love it. I don't love that comparison. But I can see where they're making the connection. But they type here and it will write it in hieroglyphics. So they can copy it and put it somewhere. And yeah, like share it on social media or stuff like that. So yeah, it's pretty funny because it's pretty fascinating little thing. And like I've always had friends who did like those kinds of activities with kids, and now it's just a site that didn't stop. Like so now they can still do this stuff even though they can't do like the tangible fun stuff like they used to be able to. I also like Semiconductor for any of my music people. This one is hilarious. You have to have a camera, but your kids could totally do it at home. And you can conduct an orchestra. You align yourself with the camera, with your arms out, and then you do like this. It's so fun. Yes. It is really, really fun. My daughter's in the background like, oh, let's do that later.
I know, you never showed me this. Why?
Sorry. So yeah, so you can like really like do an orchestra. I've got a friend who's a music teacher and he quite enjoys that one. If I do have any art people here, they've got some really, really fun, don't know what you would use it for things, but like all the art ever. They're really into like AI and like being able to match. I'm always worried I'm going to click like on some Renaissance painting though whenever I do this in a PD. So I hope I click on like some stamp.
So
but
we don't have like an art curriculum here, at least for elementary. Like we have art specialists that in person would come once a quarter and like teach a class. So basically the classroom teacher is responsible for teaching, art. So this is really cool. And just as something fun, it just popped into my mind. For my 4th and 5th graders, we decided today that we're just going to do our own talent show because they have somebody that's going to play the guitar, somebody that does the piano. So that whole thing with the symphony orchestra, like that is legit. So as far as doing a talent show, I think that is pretty cool. So I'm going to do that to my kids. I'm going to be like, guess what I can do?
It's so fun.
Yeah.
So like this is an art free fall. It's bananas. Like I don't even, like I said, I wish I like every time I show this, they're like, this is so cool. I don't know what to use it for. But like, so like, yeah, like you can, and you just click and it'll like zoom in, you can have like an orchestra done, but it's like all this art, like ever, like all the digitized art on Google. And you can just click around and like see what matches. It's just so much. It's just so much, but you can see, what they were doing in 30 BC. And it's just really fascinating. You zoom in like with your fingers if anybody is following this along. It does have like a zoom like that. Not like a just a click zoom for you. I'm gonna need them to fix that. But so yeah, right here. And then you would have your source talking about getting kids. You'd be like, hey, this is where this is. This is real, and we know it's because it's authenticated by this. And once again, you've got like this one doesn't have a classroom button yet, but you can send like a direct link to this artifact. I would expect anything though when they start to move things over, they'll all have a classroom button. So that's coming. So that one's kind of crazy. It's fun. It's kind of crazy. And then like this is another art one. This one is a guy who went around and like X-rayed buildings in this area because it was like some of these buildings were in danger of getting blown up and like like conflict and stuff. So there's a whole thing about him doing that. That's separate. But this one is really, really cool. It's got sound. It takes a ton. You can see it's like my computer is having to think about this. It takes, and I'll let it load. So just be prepped for that. Like I always tell people, with some of these, like check it, and then like if you're ever face to face, do it in the computer lab when you're hooked up to something. So I have one more I'm going to talk about. Definitely click on this though. Whenever you get a chance, because I know I'm running out of time, so I'm gonna go ahead and move to one last one. Is Google Voyager. This one is closer to Tour Builder. I don't understand. Maybe somebody could tell me. I know my Google heard me talking. Like if they're getting rid of just Tour Creator, I feel like they're keeping Tour Builder. If anybody's familiar, like Tour Builder, you can use Google Earth to make filters.
Yeah, that's all I heard was that the builder was going away.
The builder was the easy one.
Yeah, it was integrated or will be integrated into Earth.
I knew that was coming. I just didn't want it to happen because it was so easy the other way. But
yeah.
And this is the one, and I don't mean to be negative. I think it's super neat. The kids love the way it's gonna like zoom in and out. But it Google Earth, it's like so much bandwidth. It's the whole Earth. So you just need to be mindful of that. Like maybe not have a time restraint on it if you're ever using it. And that was one of the reasons I'm sad that Google's getting rid of the other option, because the other option used like Street View and it would load like that. This takes a minute, and this is on like a Mac. I'm not saying I have the best computer, but I don't have a bad one, and it takes some. And now I do have 72,000 tabs open, but this Voyager is really cool. These are, like I said, these are some of my favorite ones. I do feel like what they have done right with Voyager is that they have clearly met with teachers. Like so much content on there will align with your curriculum. They've even got like some that have assessments built in. Like there's a whole education tab. So I do respect that. I feel like that's why they're moving towards it. I feel like they've invested some time and energy into that. There are like games. Games, there's some quizzes you can do, and compete amongst yourselves. But there is an education tab here that is, I think, like I said, they've made a lot of strides in like incorporating math, and those kinds of things. Like sustainable architecture. I know that's a thing, but like this one's really neat. Like, geometry and castles. I'm not a math person, but I do find this one really neat. And so like it'll have this main image. Most of them have been built out by a company. And so it'll have like your information here. And then you can move like to the next location, and it just zooms in and out. And it looks so pretty, totally. Hoping they can, work on that functionality, but it looks super cool. And it is really neat and neat to play with. So check that out. I think one of my favorite things about this is though that they've clearly met with some teachers. So Lewis and Clark one, somebody had a textbook company work with them on that because it's like perfect, like it nails all the and we call them grade GLEs, but so definitely I think like this one, stopping the spread of Zika, it might even be too soon. You might even want to talk about that yet. Poetry units, all that, like check it out. It's really cool. And like I said, very aligned to education. So I think it's really neat. Because of the Lewis and Clark one, see, it's by PBS. It's like, bam, like the stuff you're teaching. So yeah, so check all these out. Like I said, I need to keep going. I talked a little much. I normally talk a lot about Google Poly because I think it's really neat, but it is going away. So up until the summer, you can share some of the Google expeditions on Google Poly, but these will only be there until the summer. So not going to spend too much time, but if you want to, you know, a little band-aid on, like this one is just a plant cell. Google Poly is like a 3D home for things. It isn't organized at all. It's kind of crazy. And you can upload stuff and save it there. But they are archiving this site. They say due to lack of use, but nobody knew what it was. Nobody knew. And then the expeditions, we have a set of those. I am going to delete this slide right now because it is no longer. It will also be going away at the end of the summer. Last thing I want to leave you with, on this last slide, I have a folder. And like I said, the Twitter, who we're talking about doing the Twitter, I got you. Like, I love that kind of stuff. I come across a lot of like templates and I just don't want to throw them all away. So I have this folder. Feel free to add it to your drive or just like favorite it and come back to it, because I have a lot of friends who just save this. It's nothing like you guys don't know, but I do always add to this folder. And all it is like a ton of templates. I try to keep it organized. If it's not, I'm sorry. But like here's a virtual museum template right here with instructions, like a travel journal. I know, like I said, the social media is so fun. I've got a whole folder of that because you can use that in every subject. You know, I had a friend who just did it with like the Greek gods, and they all had to like make like Twitters and stuff. It was so funny. Instagram is a super fun one. You can do so many things. You could get them to caption the picture. You can get them to, you know, build the whole story out, you know, like, and make usernames and stuff. Like this one's Harry Potter themed. So this is here. Like I said, come back to it. I hope it helps you. Like I said, I know it kind of started because I have a lot of friends who are teachers. And I always had like, oh, I have a thing for that. And I kept having to share it. And I was like, how about I just make this place? So this lives here. I did not make all of this by any means. And if you made something, tell me and I'll put your name on it. I just, wherever I acquire things, I save them here. Also very popular are the magazines. It's just like a slide deck. But like, we're always getting kids to make slides. So this is just maybe a prettier way to do it. You know, get them to like, process the idea of like how, you know, a magazine or something like that. Like here, they would just be able to replace the images and the words and make like a cute little magazine. All right. So do I have any questions? I'm sorry if I talk too much. I like this stuff.
No, I think it was great. We really, really appreciate it.
Yes. This is fun stuff to talk about though. When I'm not telling people they have to I'm like, oh, you have to follow these guidelines. This is like, oh, here's a free for all fun stuff, whatever's on the internet. But yeah, like totally save that folder. I add to it. There's a lot of slides. Like there's a template folder just from like Slides Mania. I did not make this.
Is the link to that in the slides?
Yeah. It's also on like my website. I can drop a link just for that too though. But yeah, on this last slide, it says example activities. And that's where it's linked.
I see it.
Yep. And I do update that. Like I said, you come across stuff and it's better than a filing cabinet. I justify it in my mind like that. But if you use any of the newspaper templates.
No, I loved your phrase, digital hoarder.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
So what it is. I don't want to throw it away. Like I have never taught little kids and like littles. That's not my thing. I'm not even that good. I'm not good at it. I'm like, why are you crying? I don't understand. But like I'm amazed by it. But like right here, I came across this folder. I didn't even make this folder. I just added it in. And these are probably more geared towards littles, and I just couldn't get rid of it. I was like, okay, I need this wintertime magnetic poetry. I don't need that, but somebody might. Somebody might.
Yeah, but you know what I find too, though, is there's a lot of templates that I'll save as well that I'm like, okay, I can't use this. But the more I look at it, it sparks something for me. And I'm like, oh, but I could do this thing instead. And then I kind of like create my own thing off of that. That's why I save things. It's not because I can use that template, but because it just makes me like, that's where I get my brightest.
Or, yeah, like you're rather than start from scratch, you're starting from somewhere.
Yeah.
These are all Google drawings, and I've kind of added more. You can see, like, as I've found more like graphic organizers. I have a big problem. Our state curriculum is a PDF. It does me no good to help my teachers, because all the, like it's a terrible, and they need to take somebody and make all these graphic organizers into digital documents. So like I said, a lot of this stems from like my friends being like, hey, I need this. Can you just make this for one of us and share it out? And then they just click this and put it all in their Google Classroom. You're welcome to do all of that. Please do. So, yeah. So yeah, I'm sorry. I think I definitely went over time, but you guys are so nice and letting me continue to talk. Yep.
Oh no, I think it was wonderful.
Also, and it's the same. And like, just reach out to me. I mean, I'm around. Not like we can go anywhere right now. I have a website. I need to update it. I'm about to update it. So if you come back, it looks different. But like right here, bam, that'll take you there as well. So that'll take you to that folder too. Just like, yeah. So, and that is the same. That's my bit.ly, just my bit.ly Bichelette. This I do because, like, and I know if you're a trainer, like, you're always giving stuff out. And so I just start putting things here. I'm about to add a lot. I've got a lot to add about some of these things, but I'm a little behind. But yeah, thank y'all for having me. It was so fun. I'm so glad y'all doing my things. I'm envious. I need to do that on my JG. I'm behind. I need to do this. But one day.
It is definitely a team.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. But I'll let y'all, like, I know y'all are gonna like meet and stuff in chat. But please reach out to me if you ever like have any questions, or if y'all ever need anybody to talk again. I would love to come back. Cool. I love your glasses here, Nikki. Those are wonderful.
Oh, thank you. I had to get blue light glasses.
I got some. Yeah. You're so cute.
I had no problems until this fall. And then I had to get blue light glasses.
I've got some. Yeah, those are cute.
Thank you for doing this. I'm so
anytime.
Like, I cannot wait to start taking my own pictures with the art filter.
It's so fun. It's so fun. Like,
it is. Hey, I did the girl with the pearl earrings really quick. Yeah, the whole thing. It was just crazy. But yeah, I love it.
It's not always nice, though. I'm telling you.
No, I saw that. I was like, dang. I'm like, no, this is not gonna work.
Deeply offended by this app.
Wait until you do it. I got chubby men from like the 1400s.
I got a Puritan woman. I was like, that's just not right. Like,
yeah, but I would rather take that over what I got. Find some good lighting. I'll tell you what.
Yeah. Not nice.
No.
But thank y'all for having me. And like I said, if y'all ever need anything or you ever have any questions, like, just holler. I'm available. I'm around.
Well, you are welcome back. We will definitely tell Chelsea to call you, because we sure appreciate it.
All right. Well, y'all have a great night, and have a great Thanksgiving.
Thank you. You too.
Ciao.
Dang.
All right. Yeah.
Right?
That was cool. Yeah. Yeah. Very cool. So yeah, everybody who's still here knows, I can go through the slides, that we're available in all these ways. And if you want to have a survey, fill out the feedback. But I think we all thought it was pretty amazing. And our next meeting is December the 29th at 7 p.m. according to what I have. So Is
Sure.
anybody have anything they want to share that, a celebration or something that they've been doing lately? We have about 5 minutes left. I don't want to force the issue. We could stop, but I also, want to take an opportunity to let somebody share a celebration if there's something cool going on. Oh,
Girl,
yeah.
That's
And-
right. Don't miss that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody? Yeah. I was hoping you'd say something, Laura.
Oh, I'm just saying hi. I was walking and then driving, and now I'm in my class in my coat. Like all on my phone. I bought secondhand used. What are you?
Okay.
Using my bed. I bet she push and turn it.
Oh gosh, that's too funny.
That is too funny. Anything to share, Sue, or anything, Nikki, that you've been doing lately you want to share?
No, I mean, not necessarily. I mean, there's a bunch of things, but not really anything we can get into in 3 minutes. So
Okay.
I'll pass for this time around. But I will say the goal, I think, for this meeting this time, had other things not come up, was that we were going to try to share just like what's working, what we use for Google things that are working for each of us.
Yeah.
So maybe next time that can be a focus.
Yeah. Yeah. And I hated to cut her off because she was like, she was just flowing with information. I did not want to stop her. Go for it, Laura. You're back.
Oh, well, I really have nothing to say. I'm just saying I participated in this meeting in the weirdest way possible, but I got most of it. But yeah, Madeline and I know I put on Twitter, but we're presenting at ISTE, and I'm super nervous because so many things have changed, and Mystery Skype is going away December 17th, and that's a big part of my presentation.
So, something else that I found, we'll probably go over, but I'll just tell you really quick if you're not aware. Exploring by the seat of your pants, I think it is. I've done, there are a couple of actual live virtual field trips that you go on with, like, for instance, astrophysicist in France was about 2 weeks ago, and it's a live YouTube feed that you can log into, or that you can have your class log into. And there's tons of different ones, but that's one I chose, was an astrophysicist, and she discovers exoplanets and things like that. And so your class can watch something like that. You can submit questions. It's all done live. I think it's called Explore by the Seat of Your Pants, but that'll take you there. The only issue with is it's all on East Coast time. So it's like, 9 a.m. East Coast.
Yeah.
So worst case is like you could sign yourself up and you could join, just record your screen, or you can give the kids the YouTube link after so they can see. But it's really neat. There was one about like a sea turtle protection thing, like a hospital for like injured sea turtles and stuff. Lots of choices.
Cool.
Yeah.
So Mystery Skype is going away?
Well, it's living in Flipgrid, but like it just came out. Like, I'm not in the know of all that. And my whole theme of everything I present is having Alaskan students sharing about their place with other people. But I also think how much has changed in the world. I know I have no time, but I don't know that Skyping the way we used to before COVID is going to be as fun. Like, we're all burnt out with Zoom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I gotta like tweak what I'm talking about to be relevant. It's just really weird, but I didn't mean to make this about me.
Yeah. No.